Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, I am watching the PFL. Francis Ngannou makes his return to MMA in his promotional debut in the PFL, but his opponent, Renan Ferreira. Renan Ferreira is a 6'8" heavyweight with an 86-inch reach and 11 of his 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be going against Francis Ngannou, who hasn't fought in MMA in over 2 years and since then has had 2 boxing matches where he's been knocked out in one. On paper, this isn't looking good for Ngannou, and I'm not talking Anthony Smith. Now, some of you may be thinking, why is that the case? Why do I feel this way? Some of you may have never even watched the Renan Ferreira fight, and that's because nobody watches the PFL. That being said, I've done countless research, and all I can say is, the lights are going out in Cameroon, baby. Renan Ferreira is going to knock out Francis Ngannou, and I hope I don't have to eat these words, because if I do, I'm cooked in predictions forever. I'm not predicting anything else because people are going to say I'm wrong about my predictions, but I think I am right. I am beyond confident in this pick as I have done countless research and tape study on Renan Ferreira because you at home didn't and nobody else was going to because nobody's watching the PFL. If I am wrong, I am deleting this video in hiding because my predictions for the rest of the year are cooked. No one's going to take my prediction serious, but I'm taking this prediction right now seriously because I think I'm right. And I'm going off of a feeling that I've been having this entire year when it comes to fights. And fights like Volk and Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. And just overall recently, I've been going good with my pick rates. I picked last week successfully. I said Brendan Royval was going to beat Tyra. Nobody thought Royval was beating Tyra, but I did. Royval was a plus 250 underdog. He had no business being that high. And I could say the same thing for Francis Ngannou. They're plus 250 and minus 250 on the odds right now, but that shouldn't be the case. This fight should be a pick'em, or at the very least, Ngannou should be the underdog and Ferreira should be the favorite. Now, mind you, this year we've been seeing crazy upsets, like Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards, Gaethje versus Max Holloway, Topuria versus Volk, Merab versus Sean O'Malley, Dricus versus Sean Strickland. How many upsets are we going to keep seeing in the year so far? Dricus Duplessis versus Israel Adesanya. I can keep going. I can keep doing this, but I don't have a million years to make this video. I gotta get this video out soon. I'm making this on a Thursday, the fight's Saturday. For all I know, you guys already made your bets, but I'm making this video now to tell you, don't bet on Francis Ngannou. We gotta look at the skill set that Renan Ferreira brings. And trust me, I've studied his skill set. I know what he brings. I've watched his fights. I'm able to say this confidently. He's 6'8" with an 86-inch reach and an 85% knockout rate. And he's knocking guys out fucking cold. And on top of that, the guy is fucking fast. The guy's light on his feet. He moves in there like Cyril Gane. The guy's damn near 7 feet, 268 pounds. You shouldn't be moving like that. The guy has a good chin, hasn't been knocked out cold. His only knockout loss is a TKO loss against Ante Delija, where he did get TKO'd after getting taken down to a ground, which I can see the takedowns being a path to victory for Francis Ngannou here. If you guys seen his last MMA fight with Cyril Gane, we all know that he came into that fight injured and turned into D1 wrestler Ngannou, a mythical fighter. Shooting takedowns, laying and praying on Cyril Gane for 5 rounds. He could very well pull his skill set out Saturday night, but even then, I still don't see it being a high likelihood for him at all. The guy's timing is crazy. He's catching people as they come into exchange with him and just knocking him out cold with straight shots, whether it's a jab, a cross, or even just a 1-2 combination. Now, in the Ngannou boxing match against Anthony Joshua, what was Anthony Joshua hitting Ngannou with the most? I'm going to give you guys a moment to silence to think about this, and then I'm going to get back to you with it. You thought? The answer is straight shots. Anthony Joshua was getting on the inside of Ngannou's guard with a clean jab and then following it up with the 2 to follow it up afterwards. And every time he did this and landed clean, which for the most part he was, he dropped Ngannou. Leading up to the point where he knocked him out fucking cold. And going back to this feeling that I keep having, the feeling that I keep talking about, looking at it, we wanted Volk to win against Topuria. Volk got knocked out cold. We wanted Gaethje to win against Max. Well, I wanted Max to win. But I know Gaethje was really the favorite going into that fight. Gaethje got knocked out fucking cold. And spoiler alert, I'm thinking the same thing for the Topuria and Max fight. I don't think Max is going to be able to beat Topuria. And I might even be hard-pressed in saying that Topuria is going to knock out Max. But that's not the video for right now. I'll talk about that more next week when I get into my predictions for UFC 308. But going back to this fight, Ngannou's going to sleep. Whatever MMA scriptwriter they have up in the labs, is cooking up some kind of storyline where all the favorites are losing this year and we're getting some insane upsets. And this whole fight is giving me the same vibe that Topuria and Volk's giving me. You have a fighter in his later 30s coming fresh off of a knockout where he's never been knocked out before, coming up to take a fight a few months later against a powerful animal that can knock you out in one punch. And that's just what Ngannou's doing right now. Ferreira is a fucking animal. He is almost 7 feet tall with damn near a 90-inch wingspan. Those are crazy numbers. The UFC doesn't even have somebody who stacks up to that. The highest wingspan in the UFC is 84 inches, meaning this guy is dwarfing over some of these UFC heavyweights. Now, going back to Renan Ferreira's fight with Ante Delija was able to win that fight by getting Ferreira up against the cage, trying to go for a sweep, which he ends up getting, connecting his hands, going for the body lock, and once he got Ferreira to the ground, keeping him there by getting into his mount and finishing the fight with ground and pound. Now, mind you, in everything I just explained to you in those short couple of seconds, in the time that he was trying to get him down to the ground with the judo sweep, Ferreira was doing a really good job at defending the takedown and fighting the hands. Not letting Delija get his leg to get the sweep. Good job at fighting the hands. Eventually, he just tires out and gets the takedown anyways. You have to look at it in the sense that that fight was 2 years ago. This has definitely been a big hole in Renan Ferreira's game, so he's definitely went and improved it in the gym. He has to. There's just no way. Now, where Delija struggled, I could see a bigger, stronger guy like Ngannou getting Ferreira down to the cage effortlessly, but time's gonna really have to tell. We're gonna have to wait till see on Saturday. But even in that one case of him getting wrestle-fucked by Delija, he has really good takedown defense in all of his other fights. In a lot of his fights, he gets into the same predicament where he gets backed up against the cage and has to do a lot of hand fighting, but every other exchange I've seen of his has been him defending it pretty well, followed up by him knocking the other person out, or him not even getting to that position and him just knocking them out beforehand. Now, there's a sequence involving takedown defense in his fight with Jamel Jones where he times a takedown perfectly and fires back with the knee that's not even that strong, puts out Jamel Jones, and then goes for a sprawl perfectly where he follows up with a TKO. That's crazy. And on top of that, his leg reach is insane. In this clip, which I'm probably going to put up on the screen right here, he doesn't even throw the knee that hard. He just lifts it up, connects with his chin, and puts him to sleep. That is insane. And mind you, this was only 30 seconds into the fight. The whole fight was everything I just explained to you right then and there. That was 30 seconds. So if you guys can't tell, I am picking Ferreira by knockout. I know we all want to see Ngannou win. Hell, I want to see Ngannou win. He's a fan favorite. People love him. People love his story. His son did pass away recently, so it'd be nice to see him get a win. But I just don't see it. He's pushing 40, guy's 38, coming off of a knockout loss, coming off of the loss of his son, coming off of a 2-year layoff against a guy like Renan Ferreira, who is crazy statistically. Now, a lot of people give the PFL fighters a lot of shit for not fighting in the UFC, but even then, I don't think that says too much to his skill set. Just on paper, his skill set alone is a lot better than some of the heavyweights we have in even the top 10 of the UFC. So if he were to come over to the UFC, I could very well see him being a top 5 or even title challenger. So if you don't know, I'm picking Ferreira by knockout. I'm going to be parlaying this with Johnny Eblen, AJ McGee, and maybe Chris Cyborg. I don't know how full I am on this parlay, but I will be posting it once I do. I'm just waiting for the odds to open up on the fight completely. But from what I saw, $10 got me 130, and those are just on the straight bets for the fights. So that's something to keep in mind. PFL overall isn't really the best thing to be betting on unless you're really locked in on every single fighter, which I am not because, once again, I don't watch PFL. I watch the superior product like UFC. But yeah, I'm not feeling good for Ngannou in this fight. I wonder if you're feeling good for Ngannou. If you think differently than I do in this fight, please leave a comment below agreeing with me. Leave a comment disagreeing with me. However you feel, comment it below. If you're new to the channel, leave a subscribe. I did see a stat that 96% of my viewers aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to hit that button down below and turn on post notifications so you can get notified every time I post a new video. I am shooting for daily uploads, so if I can't get every day, I'm shooting for every 2 days. I do have a life outside of YouTube. So all in all, leave a comment if you agree. Leave a comment if you disagree. If you like the video, leave a like. And if you like videos like these, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace.